Showboating Sports, man. Glad you guys are back. We are here. We're going to talk about how Terence Crawford carried Errol Spence in that fight. So we're going to talk about that in this video. Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and share button and join the crew. You know what I mean? We go live most weeknights, 10 p.m. Eastern. But anyway, without any further ado, we're going to get right to it, man. Because you guys, for the people who saw the fight, we all was hyped. We've been waiting 5 years for this fight, and I picked Errol Spence to win the fight. Let's just say that straight off. I said it. I'm standing on it. I picked him to win it. I thought it was a 50-50 fight, but I picked Errol to win. Hey, I stand on that, right? But with that being said, a lot of people want to discredit another fighter. I gave Terence Crawford so much credit. People thought I was rooting for Terence Crawford, which I clearly wasn't. But I said Terence Crawford is a hell of a fighter. Now, I'm a fan of the sport more than I am a fan of a fighter, but I do like a lot of these fighters. Any fighter that goes out there and tries to fight the best and try to prove he's the best, that's the fighter I like. You know what I mean? I like Errol because Errol said what he's going to do. He stuck to it. He tried to fight every fighter. Well, he fought everybody he said he was going to fight, right? And in this Terence Crawford fight, I thought Terence Crawford was a really good fighter. A lot of people didn't think Terence was a good fighter. I said, no, Terence is a really, really good fighter. But a lot of people give Terence to be the bad guy or whatever else. It doesn't matter to me. None of that matters to me. I just see good fighters, great fighters, and once in a generation fighters. That's what I see, right? But I do like fighters who say what they say and stand on it, right? With all that being said, let's talk about the fight a little bit. As the fight started, I saw it go. I saw Errol come out. I saw Errol try to establish himself how Errol does, right? You can see, you knew it was going to be a little ring rust in there, but none of that is excuse. We can't make excuses here. The first round, I saw Errol come out trying to be Errol. Second round, I saw Terence Crawford showing Errol I will not be bullied. Errol tried to push him back. Errol was like, nah, I'm not going. So as the fight going by the third, fourth round, you start seeing Terence Crawford start having his way with Errol Spence. Now, this is where it comes in at that Terence Crawford was carrying Errol Spence. Because when you really look at the fourth round, after Terence Crawford knew he could hurt Errol, he didn't hurt Errol as much. He didn't take those chances, which is smart on Terence Crawford's behalf because he didn't go in there and get overly confident. He didn't get overzealous about it. What he did was he played it cool. He picked his shots. He did what a real good, excellent, great fighter would do and should do, because you don't want to get a fight like Errol Spence, a shot off that changes the momentum of the fight, right? But with that being said, he kept hurting Errol with these power jabs, right? And as he hurt Errol would buckle. And that's not like Crawford to not finish a fighter, right? So as I watched this fight again today, and I went all the way back through it, the 8th round, I want you guys to go back and watch this fight again. The 8th round, Terence Crawford didn't pick up the fight. He didn't try to get Errol out of there. That round right there, he actually let Errol cruise that whole round. And Terence just kept his hand up, put his hands down to guard his body, almost like a Philly shell. But the way Terence Crawford did it, he did it his own little way. And no matter what Errol threw, it hit his arms, it hit his shoulders. He caught it up here on the glove. But the most important thing was he wasn't trying to get Errol out of there. I don't know why he carried Errol. I don't know why he carried Errol. But if he wanted Errol out of there in the 4th and 5th round, Terence could have got Errol out. Every shot he hit Errol with, he hit him, he dazed him, he hurt him, and he kind of laid back just a little bit. More than what Terence Crawford normally does, right? I think this fight right here Terence Crawford is a class act. Let me say why he's a class act. Because at the end of the fight, man, that wasn't a hard fight for Terence. It wasn't. And Terence could have said, nah, man, this is one of my easiest fights. He did not do it. He didn't do it. He congratulated Errol. At the end of the fight, he went over and told Errol, you're a hell of a fighter. I ain't got to even tell you that. At the very end in the press conference, he said that, they said it was hard. And was it hard? And Terence said, all these fights are hard. At this level, they all are hard. But really, to really be honest, that wasn't a hard fight for Errol. I know people are calling for a rematch. I would love to see Errol rise to the occasion, but the skill set that Terence Crawford displayed, and I didn't see that coming. I knew Terence Crawford had skills, but I didn't think that he would exploit every one of Errol's weaknesses. Every weakness that Errol had that I didn't know Errol had, nobody knew Errol really had, Terence exploited it. And I think that the jab worked. It wasn't just a jab. It's just when he knew Errol would get on the inside, there's certain shots that Errol would take. And what Terence Crawford did was he protected himself. He knew what shot was coming. And when he threw some of his counters, they were so close in that you didn't think it would be power, or you didn't think he would throw it and land it. You thought he would smother his own punches. But the brilliance of Terence Crawford was, I'm going to stay in the heart of the storm. I'm going to make you throw. I'm going to play it safe. And I'm going to land my shots. And Errol did not switch up where he should have switched up. You know what I mean? But it goes back to the brilliance of Crawford. But it goes back to what I said on this video, is that if Terence Crawford wanted Errol Spence out of there by the 4th and 5th round, he could have had Errol out. I do not know why he let Errol last. I don't understand it. I don't know. But Terence Crawford is a killer. He has that killer instinct, and he can go in there at any time and get a fighter out when a fighter is hurt. He had Errol hurt multiple times from the 2nd round all the way up. He was knocking Errol down. Those power jabs that he landed on Errol, he landed them at will. But he chose to back off a little bit. He chose to let Errol do his thing. Those body shots that he hit Errol with hurt Errol. If you look at some of those rounds, he caught Errol with a body shot, and Errol would turn to get out of the way to avoid those body shots. And as Crawford hit him, Crawford didn't follow up all the way. He hit him, followed up, stopped. I mean, did a little bit and then stopped. You know what I mean? But he didn't let me try to finish him. It was kind of like, it was a sparring match for him. It was more of Crawford showing Errol that there's levels to this, and I got you. You are a dead man walking, so to speak. It's like there's nothing you can do to get you out of this. You know what I mean? But we're going to let this fight go on, and I'm going to show you more and more of why I'm Terence Crawford. But Terence Crawford didn't say that, and he didn't show that on his face. And that's why I say I don't understand, because most fighters that want to show their dominance, like how Roy did, they're going to brag on that. Terence Crawford never bragged. I don't get it. He didn't brag. He was humble when the fight was over with, you know. And it goes to show at the very end, Terence was humble. Errol Spence had the heart of a lion. He did everything he could do, but Terence carried Errol in that fight. Don't understand why, but he did. Maybe somebody can ask him, and maybe he might just deny it. Something else that I thought was really big on him is that at the very end, you know, he was like showing his emotions to Ellie. He's like, hey, Ellie, you know, you picked him, and I want all you guys to apologize. But see, that's what it goes back to say, that when you're doing these fights right here, right, and you're judging fighters, let's say I say, okay, I like Errol Spence. That doesn't mean I hate Terence Crawford just because you have a favorite fighter. If you say I like Terence Crawford, that doesn't mean you hate Errol Spence. Some of these people just, they take it too far. And that's what Terence was saying at the press conference too. You know what I mean? Let's just let it be about a sport. Let's not let this turn into something personal. And that's what it should never be. It should never be personal. But a lot of people, oh, you was wrong. You was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. So what? Nobody saw that Terence Crawford was going to have a night like that. That's the best I've ever seen Terence Crawford in my life. If you guys have a better performance, please show it to me. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw what Terence Crawford brought to the table. Errol Spence wouldn't have some kind of answer for, but he did. I mean, he didn't. He didn't have an answer for that. But Terence Crawford brought that to the table. I salute Terence Crawford. I salute everybody that picked Terence Crawford. Like I said, Terence Crawford was my number 1, number 2 pound for pound. I had it 1A, 1B, and that's the reason why. But hats off to him. Do I think it needs a rematch? I don't think that needs a rematch, but I would love to see Errol redeem himself at 154, right? If that's what some of the problem was. But I just think that whatever it was, I don't know if Errol can make those adjustments to make that happen. But I'm all for it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for whatever it takes to see the best fight and the best. Salute once again to Terence Crawford. Salute to Errol Spence. Man, you're a hell of a fighter. You're a hell of a warrior. And styles make fights. And can anybody else do that to Errol? Maybe not. I don't think so. I don't think that the average person goes in there. But I think that a lot of people are going to try to mimic Terence Crawford, and they're going to try to set that as a blueprint. So whatever it is that Errol needs to make adjustments, he's got to make those adjustments anyway, because other fighters are going to try to exploit what they saw in there. You know what I mean? And I don't know that anybody else can have a power jab like that to do Errol Spence like that, but maybe so. But anyway, guys, that's straight up no chaser. Hope you guys come back and watch the channel more. Give me your thoughts on this. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Terence carried Errol? I think he did. Don't know why, but if you guys have a response of why he did, please feel free to hit me up. I'm going to enjoy the weather. I'm going to enjoy this. Man, I was in my feelings all night. You know what I mean? But I'm going to sit back and just chill here in the studio and enjoy this beautiful scenery I got. But anyway, guys, hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Join in to Showboating Sports, man. And until then, man, I'm out. Peace.